because I had scar tissue, doing all the things wrong, being highly critical of myself, because I was over trading, because I was using too much leverage, I didn't have the ability to stay with the trade long because I had all those things compounding with very little experience. I started in 1992 and I was trading way too much with too little money. I was undercapitalized. I did not have experience. I did not know what I was doing. And I was like a cowboy out there just gunslinging. And when I was right, I felt like I owned the world, and any setback was disastrous. It was absolutely disastrous because I made sure I punished myself way beyond what would be reasonable. So one of the corrections I made in myself was going back. This is why if you don't journal, you don't have this resource to tap into. You're not going to remember every detail about every trade you did. I can't remember every detail, but I can take myself into a journal and I can show everything that was pertinent at the time and the open, high, low, and close, and the highest high in the first hour, the second hour, the third hour, and the same thing at the last half of the trading day. I have all those details. And if I was watching price at the time, what I was thinking and how I was feeling, and if I engaged at all. You don't have that. You don't have that for 30 years, but I do. So I know myself better than anybody ever will. No one's going to know me better than I do. I have a clinical history of documenting how I felt, how I thought, how I overreacted, how I ignored foolishly certain things that should have been brought to my attention in the forefront of my mind about what I should be focusing on predominantly and less on money. Because the money aspect, that was what I was pursuing because I needed that to change my status. Because if I could change that status, I would win my ex-wife back because I was a young, broken-hearted man. So I was not trading for the right reasons. I was trading for a revenge plot. Okay. So I looked back at my journal and I said, well, here's the things that I have noticed that I'm doing. I'm exiting early. All my trades were exiting early, and 90% of them were impulsively exiting, meaning that some kind of mental threshold was being tapped into where I could not muster the strength, the courage, the fortitude, the willingness to hold on to the trade any further. But nothing had underlyingly changed about the trade. So what was manifesting? My physical inability to hold on to the trade because my mental capital rather, had been exhausted. I'm in a trade and it's profitable. All I have to do is hold on to it, and the trades many times would have hit the target. But because of losing trades, because of being stopped out, because I've missed trades, or because, and this is the big one, because I was over leveraged, I had too much on based on the amount of money I had in the account. So every tiny fluctuation, whether it was moving in my favor or moving against me, it was enormous pressure. It was enormous pressure. Any ticks that moved in my favor was like a euphoric wave of yes, 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 relief, relief, keep going, keep going. And if it moved 2 ticks, I would say, okay, give me 5 more ticks. And then if it moved one more tick, I'd say, okay, give me 3 more ticks, give me 3 more ticks. And then one tick would come back, which is normal delivery. Then another 2 ticks down, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, it's reversing, it's reversing. It's everything I talk about in the long parts of the lecture. Which, by the way, this is that kind of lecture. So you want to learn how to make money, you want to learn how to hold on to a trade, how to work yourself through these hard things that real trading takes you through. These are the lessons and lectures you want to listen to. It's not the buy, the sell. Here's the candlestick formation. Here's the order block. None of that stuff is important compared to this stuff because this is what fixes you or keeps you on the straight and narrow. And I'm telling you, what changed in my trading was how I think about money, how I think about the fear of holding on to the outcome. So if you don't over leverage and if you don't over trade and you're being disciplined about what it is you're executing on, there has to be a rule, there has to be a model, and there has to be some measure of a threshold that you're aiming for that is a low hanging fruit objective. So what I did was I went back and I started seeing things in my exits when I would impulsively close the trades and not let them go to target. 90% of the time, they were hitting one or two PD arrays that were in favor of me, but before my actual target or terminus. So I elected to come up with the idea, okay, well, this is like low hanging fruit. It's easy. I can do these trades. And if I stick to doing that, then that could be my model until I get better at doing this. Because I had a lot of problems I had to fix within my thinking and a lot of scar tissue. I had lost a lot of money. I was in debt. I was trying to figure out how I was going to clear all that up and still win the heart of my ex-wife back. Okay. So that never happened, by the way. But the idea of looking for low-hanging fruit, this easy objective, aim for that because you're going to have a higher strike rate if you can pick the easiest objective to trade to. And it doesn't matter what ICT shows in his trading execution. It doesn't matter what any of my other students do. It doesn't matter what your favorite Furu, live streamer is doing. It doesn't matter how much they got in their payouts. None of that has anything to do with you. That's not a direct relationship or correlation rather to you being a good trader or not being a good trader based on what other people do. But in this climate right now, because social media is so, what it is, it's meant to be divisive. That's why it's been introduced to us. It's not to help one another, it's to be divisive and to communicate that at never ending divisiveness. And I'm trying to use social media to remind you that you don't have to keep up with everybody else. Like, you don't have to do those things.